From the WNKY studios in South Central Kentucky, this is SoKY at Noon on CBS 40.
Good afternoon. Thanks so much for joining us here at SoKY at Noon. It's great to have you with us as always. I'm Christy Stewart in for Josh Short. To start things off this afternoon, we are getting closer to finding out who will be the next president of the United States as votes counting nears an end in battleground states. Skylar Henry has more details from the White House, where President Trump is vowing to fight the results.
Joe Biden has edged ahead in two key battleground states. Biden has taken a narrow lead in Pennsylvania, with the remaining votes coming from areas favorable to the Democratic presidential nominee.
It's votes out of Philadelphia. We're getting reports in from Philadelphia right now, heavily Democratic area. They've been a little bit, taken a while to count their votes, but they're doing it. So as that comes in, that propels Biden up into the lead.
The former vice president also has a slim lead in Georgia, and the vote counting there is nearly done.
Out of approximately 5 million votes cast, we'll have a margin of a few thousand. With a margin that small, there will be a recount.
If Biden's lead holds in those states, he will have the 270 electoral college votes needed to be the next president of the United States. Sources tell CBS News President Trump will not concede even if those races are called for Biden. The president is claiming without proof that there are shenanigans in the vote count.
There's tremendous amount of litigation generally because of how unfair this process was, and I predicted that. I've been talking about mail-in voting for a long time. It's really destroyed our system. It's a corrupt system.
But even some Republicans have called the president's Thursday night press conference destructive.
The president's speech last night was very disturbing to me because he made very, very serious allegations without any evidence to support it.
The votes being counted in Pennsylvania do not include any mail ballots that have arrived after November 3rd. Those are being kept separate pending a potential review from the Supreme Court. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Thank you, Skylar. Well, starting with our top story today, voter fraud has been a huge topic of discussion the past several days around the country. And there have been complaints filed right here in South Central Kentucky. WNKY's Krista Garrison looked into those complaints and has the story.
The Kentucky Attorney General's office has received 388 total complaints and questions for the 2020 general election. Some of those complaints were even made here in South Central Kentucky. Warren County had 3 questions submitted, along with 2 fraud complaints and 1 electioneering complaint. Metcalfe County had 1 fraud complaint. Butler County had 1 question and 1 complaint of a convicted felon voting. Butler County Clerk Sherry Johnson has been in contact with the Secretary of State's office, the State Board of Elections, the Attorney General's office, and a Commonwealth's attorney in regard to the convicted felon complaint. Johnson says it's against the law to lie on your voter registration card.
There's a warning that if you sign this statement and any of these things are not true, and one of them being if you are a convicted felon, it carries a $500 fine and up to 12 months in jail.
Allen County Clerk Elaine Williams says the law requires voter sites to have at least 2 people from each party working the polls to make sure things are done fairly. That includes approving signatures on absentee ballots.
We have both representation from both parties to ensure that they're agreeable that is either a good signature or it's not.
Both clerks have faith in Kentucky's election system.
Kentucky has a very good system. And our Secretary of State and our governor have really worked together, even though one is a Democrat and one is a Republican. They put parties aside and worked on this election for us to have a good, fair election.
I think here in Kentucky, we're probably one of the best states that have all the checks and balances in place to ensure no voter fraud.
WNKY could not speak to the Warren County Clerk's office because they are shut down due to a COVID case. Reporting in South Central Kentucky, Krista Garrison, WNKY News.
Thank you, Krista. And due to that confirmed COVID-19 case in the Warren County system, we've had to wait on the results of several key city races. One of those races was for the 4 seats on Bowling Green City Commission. These 4 individuals you see on your screen are the 4 leading the polls right now: Sue Perigin, Dana Beasley Brown, Melinda Hill, and Carlos Bailey. Those 4 leading vote getters are in line to become the next commissioners for the city, but those results aren't yet official. And neither is the race for Bowling Green mayor, as there were 2 write-in candidates for that race that delayed the counting process as well. We do know that Tad Alcott, the only man on the ballot, received about 14,000 votes, and it remains yet to be seen whether or not Chris Page or Tom Morris can match that. We will hopefully know the official results of those 2 races sometime this weekend. We'll get to more news here in a bit, but first let's take a look at your forecast. Right now the sun has returned for us. We've got tons of sunshine outside to enjoy for this afternoon. Currently at the Bowling Green Airport, we have a temperature of 70 degrees, so it is very nice and warm out there for us as well, as it is all across the rest of South Central Kentucky. We currently have temperatures that are sitting in the upper 60s to the low 70s across South Central Kentucky. We're going to be able to warm up a few more degrees throughout the rest of this afternoon as we do continue to have that sunshine shining brightly down on us. Locally, of course, we are nice and dry on the radar as we don't have a cloud in the sky, and we should be able to stay nice and dry as we head throughout the remainder of the day today and really all throughout your weekend. Winds today are lighter, very calm out there, so that's why temperatures aren't ramping up that quickly throughout this afternoon, but we are going to be seeing those temperatures ramping up a little bit more throughout this weekend. I'll have more details on that coming up in just a little bit, but right now, let's take a look at the latest statewide numbers on the coronavirus. COVID-19 continues to run rampant here in the Bluegrass, a statement that's pretty evident when looking at yesterday's report out of the governor's office. Kentucky added 2,318 new coronavirus cases yesterday, the second highest day so far in the state, second only to the day that there was a significant backlog in Fayette County. The death rate continues a steep climb as well, as 1,534 people have now died from COVID-19, an increase of 20 over the last 24 hours. Also rising is the positivity rate, now at 6.5%, up from 6.3% on Wednesday. The governor also announced that there are now 80 counties in the red zone, including 6 right here in South Central Kentucky. Transitioning into those local numbers, Warren County saw the biggest jump yesterday, adding another 79 new cases to their already high total. Thankfully, still no deaths to tell you about this afternoon, so our death toll remains at 153 people, while over 8,000 have made a full recovery. Focusing on Barron County now, the school system there has announced they will be extending virtual instruction through next week. According to the Facebook post, the hope is that by extending the closure, the district will be able to conduct in-person instruction until Christmas break without interruption. Teachers will continue to communicate with families regarding distanced learning. Also in Barron County, the Glasgow Independent School District made the announcement via Facebook this morning that non-traditional instruction will continue through November 24th. This is due to the continued critical coronavirus rate in the county. The district said in the post that they are hoping the positivity rate will decrease so students can return for in-person instruction following Thanksgiving. The district will continue to monitor the situation and keep families updated. A Veterans Appreciation event is set to take place this weekend. The 2020 Freedom Ride will take place tomorrow morning at the VFW Post 1298 in Bowling Green. The beginning lineup will be at 10 and the ride will officially start at 11. The entrance fee will be $30 and that price will include the ride, t-shirt, and hot chili. The event will include a live silent auction from 1 to 4 and live music later on at 6 p.m. Post Commander Glenn Skaggs says these are tough times for the veteran community, and this event will be a good chance to get them out for some safe fun.
This is a hard time of year for a lot of veterans and stuff like that, and you know, people's been cooped up, quarantined, and this still gives them a little time to get together, you know, a bunch of patriots, a bunch of veterans, fly their flags on their vehicle, do the ride. We got the Jeep Club, we got Mustangs coming, we got bikes coming, so I think it'll be a very large time and real good for the community.
Tomorrow, there will be a free veteran and family fishing day at 1960 Three Springs Road from 1 to 4. Well, still to come for us on SoKY at Noon, the unemployment rate drops, but job growth is slowing. Plus, I will have a full look at our forecast. We've got lots of sunshine out there right now, but will that be staying with us throughout this weekend? Those details and more, but first, here's a preview of today's Money Watch.
Wall Street turns one eye to the job market, and the NBA bubble may be popping soon with a nod to the fans. I'm Diane King Hall at the CBS Broadcast Center. I'll have those stories and more in your CBS Money Watch report. Wall Street is turning some of its attention to the job market today. According to the Labor Department, the economy grew by 638,000 jobs last month, and the nation's unemployment rate dropped to 6.9%. Both numbers were better than expected. Amazon plans to ramp up the number of black leaders it has starting this year. The e-commerce giant said it's setting, quote, aggressive goals in its effort to be a top employer for black employees. Amazon says it wants to double the amount of black leaders it has this year and again in 2021. For the first time in nearly 20 years, the FDA may approve a new drug for Alzheimer's. The treatment is designed to help patients who are in the early stages of the disease. An advisory committee is meeting today on whether the agency should approve the drug or not. The FDA could make an official decision by early March. And sweets are trying to make a comeback, but with the constraints of the pandemic in mind. The plan is for NBA Arena Suites to be open to fans at 25 to 50% capacity for the 2020 through 2021 season, according to sports website The Athletic. Masks and social distancing rules will be in effect. The league also wants to have some fans in arenas for games, but it will depend on various state COVID-19 restrictions. And that's your CBS Money Watch report. For more, head to cbsmoneywatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Diane King Hall.
Thank you, Diane. With COVID-19 cases on the rise, U.S. employers slowed their hiring in October. Nancy Chen has a look at the latest snapshot of the labor market.
Sean Wilson has waited tables for 17 years, but with Chicago once again banning indoor dining, he joins the millions of Americans without a steady paycheck.
I took satisfaction. I took a certain amount of pride in being able to provide for my kids. Now that's in question.
As the coronavirus surges across the nation, job growth slowed in October, with employers adding 638,000 jobs. And while the unemployment rate dropped from 7.9 to 6.9%, CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the recovery has slowed.
We lost 22 million jobs between March and April. Since then, we've gained back more than half of them. But what we've been seeing is for the last 6 months, the pace of increase is starting to decelerate. At the state level, without additional stimulus, many of the nation's largest states will be forced to lay off workers.
One bright spot in the labor picture could be in retail. Companies are preparing for a surge in internet shopping as we head closer to the holidays.
Amazon has been adding jobs throughout the pandemic and is now hiring 100,000 new workers.
We know that the pandemic has hit our local communities very hard, so we're proud to offer thousands of jobs to our local communities where people can provide for their families.
Target and Walmart are also staffing up for the holidays, as well as both UPS and FedEx, which are preparing to ship billions of packages around the world. But as we head into the holidays, many Americans are facing hardship. More than 3.5 million have been jobless for more than 6 months. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
Thank you, Nancy. Well, now time for a look at our full weather. It is a beautiful day outside this afternoon. Hopefully you get outside and enjoy it today. The sunshine has returned to us in full force, and it's very pleasant feeling right now across South Central Kentucky. We have temperatures that are sitting in the upper 60s to the lower 70s. It's about 5 degrees warmer than we were this time yesterday afternoon, and we'll be warming up just a couple more degrees as we continue to head throughout the next few hours. Locally, nice and dry as we didn't see a cloud cloud in the sky. We should be staying with that plentiful sunshine throughout the rest of the day today. And again, warming up just a couple of degrees. Winds are very calm for us. We are having high pressure regaining control over the Ohio Valley, so that's going to be keeping us very pleasantly sunny throughout this entire weekend. And as we get into your Saturday, we're going to be noticing a little bit stronger of a southerly wind flow of about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So with that, we are going to be able to continue to see a warming trend starting back up for us. So high temperatures on Saturday are going to be sitting in the mid 70s. As we stay with that southerly wind flow and lots of sunshine throughout Sunday, Sunday will be a couple degrees warmer, right about the upper 70s. So beautiful weekend for any outdoor plans that you might have, and enjoy this dry weather, because as we get into next week, we do have a cold front that is going to be headed our way. So still staying dry throughout the day on Monday, maybe a stray PM shower, but I really think everybody will be able to stay dry on Monday. And we're going to be continuing to stay nice and warm, but starting to see a little bit more cloud cover moving over the region as that cold front begins to approach us. And then as we get into Tuesday and Wednesday, that's when that cold front moves through, and that's when we can expect a round of scattered showers as the cold front is passing through, and then cooler temperatures following that front. Now, towards the end of next week, we're going to be having to keep an eye on what's happening down in the tropics. So right now we have Tropical Depression Eta that is back into the Caribbean Sea. That's going to be re-strengthening into a tropical storm, making a run at Cuba and then snaking around into the Gulf of Mexico. So as it snakes into the Gulf of Mexico, still looking like it'll stay as a tropical storm, but towards the end of next week, we could be seeing some of those remnants here locally, or at least it will be impacting some of our weather pattern. So we'll be continuing to track that throughout the weekend and into next week. But for today, we get to enjoy lots of sunshine out there again. Make sure that you're getting out there and enjoying it. Still nice and warm. High temperatures will be sitting in the lower 70s. As we get into tonight, we are going to be seeing clear skies, so that's going to be allowing our temperatures to drop down into the mid 40s. Pretty mild for this time of year, but if you do have nighttime plans, make sure that you do grab a jacket. Throughout this weekend, lots of sunshine continues, and so does that warming trend. We'll be sitting in the mid to upper 70s, staying in the upper 70s throughout your Monday and Tuesday. That cold front moves through Wednesday morning, bringing us showers Tuesday evening throughout Wednesday morning, and cooler temperatures for the second half of next week. Highs still above average, though, right about the mid to upper 60s. Now it's time to clear the shelters. Let's meet our cute triad of the day.
Hey everybody, it's Asia once again at the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society. Today, for our Pet of the Day segment, we are featuring 3 adorable kittens. We've got OP names for them: Paige, Presley, and Peyton. Here are the other 2 right here. They are 3 kittens, all brothers and sisters. They're ready for adoption now. Some of their siblings have already gone home. They will make a wonderful addition to your family. Right now, the Humane Society has got a ton of kittens, cats ready to go home. So if you're looking for one to add to your family, now is the time to do it. These 3 are all absolutely wonderful. Look, they're so cute. They're small, and we've got a bunch of little toys in here that they like to play with. So come on down to the Bowling Green Warren County Humane Society and adopt today. We'll be right back after this quick commercial break.
For the second year, Russellville Middle School offered students a chance to jump into the world of politics, complete with ballots and polling booths.
This is our second year doing this. We decided to conduct a mock election, and the mock election is designed to introduce students to the local government, the Congress, as well as prepare them for being an informed voter and a good citizen and making the right choices for their community.
Near official election day, the young Panthers get involved in the interactive experience for social studies class specifically.
The teachers have been facilitating meaningful and authentic discussions around voting and around just the whole voting process. The students have been very engaged. They've been having meaningful discussions with each other, so it's been an authentic, purposeful educational experience.
As part of the assignment, students are tasked with researching the real-life candidates for president and senate. After researching, the students decide who they would vote for if they were of the age to vote in official elections.
They've been really excited and really engaged in the lessons. They've been really excited and really engaged in the gym. My 8th graders are actually, they're doing the election. I'm not doing it with 6th and 7th grade. I've taught them to do it. and they're very independent and self-reliant right now, and they're carrying it through. So I love that they are taking charge and taking that initiative to do it with the younger students.
Teachers say this is beneficial to get the students interested in the election process early, so that they can keep thinking about it as they get older. Regardless of party, another goal of this experience is to teach the students how to talk about their views respectfully, even if they're different from their peers.
We do have some that are very much on one side or the other, but they engage in it and they are learning from each other. They're learning to talk about the issues and not scream about the issues. They're learning to be open about how they believe and how they feel without having to be ugly to one another or to engage in ways that we don't want. And that's one of the things that I truly like about our 8th grade group is how open and honest they are, but at the same time, they're respectful to each other.
At the end of the day, the #1 goal is that the students come away from this knowing how important the act of voting is and exercising their rights as Americans.
Just to be an informed voter and making the right choices for their community. That's the main goal, and also exercising their role as a voter in their community.
I think the biggest thing that I hope that each student takes away is that they just vote. You know, I'm not here to teach them to vote one way or the other. I just want them to vote. I want their voices heard. I want them to understand how important that is to be heard when it's time for them to vote.
A way to further expand on the skills taught at the Russellville Independent Schools. Oh, and stickers were included too. We can't forget that. Thanks for watching this week's Feel Good Friday. In Russellville, Josh Short, WNKY News. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, we have lots of sunshine to enjoy today and all throughout this weekend. We're going to be on a warming trend again this weekend. High temperatures will be reaching into the mid to upper 70s. We'll be staying in the upper 70s for the first part of next week. Then a cold front moves through very early Wednesday morning. That'll be bringing us a few of those scattered showers as we get into Tuesday evening through Wednesday morning. Then we'll be drier after that. High temperatures will also be a little bit cooler as those will be sitting in the mid to upper 60s. Well, that's it for SoKY at Noon. Thank you so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you right back here Monday at noon and tonight on WNKY 40 at 5 and 6.